Well, Alex, it's your ride here, so I'm going to go to you first. Tell me what it was like when you finally found out for real that this was your opportunity to hop in the 48 going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. It's an honor to get to drive the 48 car. Obviously, the past couple of years with Hendrick Motorsports have been pretty successful, and to get to drive the 48 in 2021, obviously that car has a huge legacy. Jimmie has achieved so much driving that car and won so many races and championships. I just want to be able to add to that and hopefully add to the wins column and the championships column, and as well as working with Ally. That's going to be a lot of fun. They're a great brand and looking forward to it. Jimmie's been a great teammate and a great friend to me, and he's always been there for support. So to get to drive that car is really special.
Alex, what's it like when you're sitting on a big secret like this, and then everybody starts to find out?
Yeah, it's a fun time for sure. I think this point in the season is really stressful. Obviously, being a cutoff week in the playoffs, this week gets pretty stressful, but it's almost a nice distraction from the stress that the playoffs bring. So it's been cool to have everything kind of come out this week, and looking forward to finally getting in that car.
And Jimmie, you knew this day was coming, obviously, but does it add any sort of immediacy and finality to the reality of the retirement from NASCAR that's really just a few races away now?
Yeah, on some levels it does, for sure. But the year's just been so weird in general, right? So right. I really expected my final year to look and feel a lot different than it has. But knowing this has been on the horizon all along, and knowing how important the driver selection was for Ally and for Hendrick Motorsports, to be here, is part of the journey. And sure, it adds a layer of finality to it. But I'm also very excited. I'm very excited for Alex, very excited for Greg, for Hendrick Motorsports, for Ally. And as Alex mentioned, it's kind of a nice distraction for me. Maybe on a different level, I don't have a playoff race to worry about, but there's only a few races left. So to be caught up in this positive energy and to help celebrate, turning over the 48 to Alex, it makes it a lot of fun.
All those championships you've won, Jimmie, a lot of folks have rooted for the 48 for a whole bunch of years. Now they're going to see somebody who they know get inside that 48. What can you tell your fans about the guy who's going to be driving the 48 that you've come to know, having him as a teammate for the last few years?
That he's going to leave it all on the racetrack. I've been able to spend a lot of time with Alex over the last handful of years, and to watch him before being a teammate with him, watch him drive the wheels off of cars to be noticed and to deliver the best results, and then to watch him really invest in himself, invest in the team, and commit to the highest of levels to be the best that he can in and out of the car. I guess to my fans that are used to that from me and want to expect that, learn to expect that, Alex is going to do the same. And granted, we are two totally different men. This is now his story to write in the 48. He's going to show up with the work ethic and commitment that the fans will want and deserve, and he's going to do an amazing job for everybody.
Alex, Jimmie has undeniable, world-class, all-time great ability. What are the qualities of the man that you've been able to observe that are going to help you as you step into the 48?
Yeah, I think the whole world could use to be a little more like Jimmie Johnson. He's just a great person, and as a race fan, as a kid, I was a big Jeff Gordon fan. So I could not stand Jimmie Johnson because of his success and Jeff getting beat over those years. I was always pulling for the 24. I'm like, man, we just got to beat this 48 car. But then to become teammates and friends with Jimmie, and just to watch how he treats everybody around him, how he carries himself throughout the good or the bad situations, whether it was, this year, I feel like that race at Daytona was a great example, missing the playoffs, but still handling that so well and treating everybody so well and being so happy for William getting his first win. That's just Jimmie Johnson. He treats everybody so well. And handles every situation like a total pro. So, if I could just be a little more like him, I think it helps me out for sure.
Jimmie, did I hear in all those, Jimmie's a great guy, I want to be more like him? Did I hear that when I was watching him when I was a kid, that whole deal come up from Alex in that answer?
I didn't know what upset me more, that he was a kid watching me race or if he was a Gordon fan. So we'll just
Jimmie, Jeff was somebody who you were very close to and watched and competed with, obviously, but also learned lessons as you were coming along. What does that do for a driver? Like, we're talking you and Alex and what he's been able to learn from you. What does that do as somebody who was once in that role and has gone to take whatever lessons you've learned to an unbelievable height in the sport?
Yeah, I feel like my career, but the timing of my career was really when race teams started to go to multi-car teams. And sure, there was a couple cars on a team, but to really embed two teams together, or three or four teams together, and create an environment that you had kind of a pecking order. I came in as the young guy and was very fortunate to have a champion to study from and learn from. And I knew at some point in time, those roles would be reversed. They certainly have. And now I have three young guys at Hendrick Motorsports I've been working with for the last couple of years. So it all came at once. But I learned and flourished in this type of system. And I think drivers now today are very used to it and understand it. So to be able to help kind of pave that road and then to help bring some young guys along. And you know, Jeff and I still have an amazing relationship, but through it all, there were some challenging moments. And those challenging moments helped us both learn a lot about ourselves and about how to handle situations in the future. And I've been able to apply those now to work with Alex and Chase and with William.
Alex, one thing that's really cool about sports is that history kind of follows you. You know, we all want to see who's going to be the next star in the Lakers, who's going to be the next quarterback of the Packers, who's going to be the next home run hitter for the Yankees, right? And in this sport, you got the 43, you're still thinking of Petty. And you got the 3, and you're still thinking of Dale when you see that car. And that 48 has so much history. So what is it going to be like for you to climb over that 48 into the car and drive that car next year?
Yeah, it's really neat for sure. I think, you know, it's even more special to me because of the relationship that I do have with Jimmie. And obviously the 88 was another really special car. And Dale was a big part of my career as well. So to, you know, step out of one really iconic car is a little bit bittersweet, but to step right into another super iconic car is really special. It means the world to me for Ally and Mr. Hendrick and Jimmie to all have faith in me to try to add to the legacy.
The fact that you followed Junior in the 88, how much did it help you deal with all the stuff that you're dealing with like right now?
Yeah, it's a lot of the same questions. So I've got a couple years experience to fine tune my answers a little bit and say the right things, hopefully. But you know, they're definitely different situations. You know, you have probably the most popular driver of all time and probably the greatest driver of all time. So you're two little bit different scenarios there, but obviously both, you know, huge personalities. You know, the biggest thing is I can only be me, and I'm going to do everything I can to make the situation my own and win a bunch of races.
If you could just set your heights a little bit higher next time, Alex, it'd make it a lot easier for you going forward. Jimmie, the reality sets in, but there's also another opportunity for you after this with IndyCar. How has that helped you in this bridge from a farewell tour of sorts that wasn't the same because we didn't have all the fans at the races to where you're going to be and still part of the racing scene for the next few years?
Yeah, it helps take some pressure off of 2020 and not being able to see fans, be around fans, and kind of celebrate. So technically, my retirement year is, you know, I've kicked it down the road a couple more years, and maybe the world will look different then, and we can celebrate the way that we had hoped. But, you know, I am disappointed about this year on a performance note from the 48 car. You know, we've had a tough go. We've had some bad luck. We're still kind of getting our team assembled and put together. And, you know, I had a bigger vision for myself performance-wise this year. So I am disappointed about that. But racing's tough, and it is such a team sport. And I think that many see the driver in the car and think it's more of an individual sport. But the team aspect really is everything. And we'll try to close out these final few races. That's where my focus is. And then to know that I still get to go racing and hold a wheel, you know, next year definitely relaxes me a little bit because I'm not ready to stop.
Alex, let's be honest. I like your background. That says to me, race car driver, right? You got some stuff there, it's specialty, a frame nice, all that. I'm just sitting in a living room. It's kind of that normal generic TV sportscaster background. Let's talk about Jimmie's background there for a minute. When that shot comes up, man, that looks like a championship race driver, doesn't it?
Well, I appreciate it. I feel like you're picking on me, but I'll take it. I do have a couple cool things back there.
I don't know what's cooler, the Daytona 500 trophy behind you or the picture to the side of it. That's a good one as well.
That is. The picture here has a lot of history in it. A couple Brickyard trophies, Daytona 500, and then, of course, the King. Here it is, the King's hat.
It's pretty good. Vanna White needs a week off, man. You can kind of do the whole deal. I was very impressed by that.
Who would have thought, 4 or 5 months ago that you'd learn how to do all this kind of stuff and operate Zoom and live on Zoom for that matter?
It's all been crazy. But, Jimmie, I guess to close, as you kind of get to the end of this chapter, which you knew was coming, and you see it in somebody else who's going to be the driver of the 48, is there a sadness as any part of the emotion that the end of really a defining era of your professional life is going to come to a close here in a few weeks?
Not yet. So far, it's really just been excitement. And I'm sure that feeling will be different when I take the checkered in Phoenix for our season finale. But right now, I mean, I'm just happy for everybody. This was my choice to make this my final year. I've been very fortunate to drive for a company that has provided so much, the great sponsors I've had, and it's really been on my terms. And I know many athletes out there don't get to end things on their terms. So for me, it's a choice I made, a decision I'm happy with, a decision I'm excited for. And, my friends get to take over the car that I've spent so much time in and get to have fun with it. So right now it's all been very positive, and I'm really excited for everybody.
Alex, this is all great and emotional, but what happens if the 48's ahead of the 88 in one of these couple of races here towards the end?
Better show his older some respect.
If I'm faster than him, he's going to have his hands full for sure.
That's to be expected.
I love it. Guys, congratulations. This is really cool. It's nice to see a chapter end and a chapter begin, and everybody feels good about the way it's happening, which is not something we see in sports or in life very often. So good on you both. Good health and all the best.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks.
Hey, Motorsports fans, thanks for watching. Make sure you hit subscribe before you go for all the latest news and highlights across motorsports.